Are the Swedes fighting the ECB? What is this about?
Yeah, to some extent, I think. Look, I mean, it's easy to pick on Sweden, but honestly, I think when I'm here this time next year, hopefully, I suspect that it will not just be Sweden and Switzerland and the ECB. I think, despite some of the comments from Yellen, if my view on the economy and markets is right, I think the Fed will be moving into negative rates, perhaps later this year, perhaps next year. The problem for the Fed, and why my call isn't as definitive as some of my others, is the election, right? The election messes up, I think, the Fed's ability to act freely, right? Because the Fed doesn't want to be perceived as being very political going into that kind of June, July, August, September, and then the final leg into the election.
Right.
It's amazing, isn't it? Maybe they're doing it to stimulate the housing market. Oh no, they don't need to stimulate the housing market because they have a housing market bubble, which they are terrified about in Sweden.
So how do you
Sweden's
make
got
money
negative
as
0.5
a
and they've
Swedish
got a
bank?
housing market
Have
bubble.
you seen the term deposits? 1.2%. If you lock up about a $500,000 Noki, you get a return of about 1.2% for the year. How on earth do Swedish banks pay out that sort of money when you've got
and
negative
that's the other
deposit
point.
rates?
The Swedish banks don't offer negative interest rates to their deposit holders.
No, they pay
which
up
is something
for it,
that
they pay
Michael
more.
Wall, formerly of Swedbank, said to us as well. Despite the negative rates, we don't offer our customers negative rates, so they're having to take that on the chin themselves, aren't they? How's that going to encourage them to lend more?
Well, this is like burning out the clutch in a car, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're accelerating aggressively at the same time
half
with a brake on.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on, because I think you made the point earlier on about the damage being done to banking systems by these monetary policy moves. And effectively this is what they're doing, because they're going to go to macro-prudential policy to control lending practices by the banks that are stimulated by the central bank making money incredibly cheap.
Not only did the Swedish have house price rises, and I knew it was a big figure, but I didn't realise it is the highest in Europe. 13.7% increase last year, the highest house price increase in Europe, and we've just gone to negative interest rates of 0.51%.
Cash, right? You kind of
put it in an asset.
You put it in an asset, right? And so look, this is guys, we've talked about this a long time, right? QE was kind of an emergency response to an emergency situation. We quite like QE1, so we thought we'd do some more. The problem was that everyone forgot that this distorts things. It distorts the price of money, the quantity of money, and as a result, all asset prices, right? And some of the commentary that I've heard in the background about, the market's overreacting to a bit of volatility. Well, look, no one was saying that when it was tripling, right? And so everyone assumes S&P 2100 was right. Why? It was only there because the Fed was pumping in $85 billion a month into the economy, right? That's no longer the case.